Hi everyone, it's Kerry from the Heritage Crafter. I hope you're all doing okay. I know lots of you have been out in the garden the last few weeks, planting seeds and waiting for things to grow. But if you're a bit impatient like me, I'm very impatient, I like to see things a little bit more sooner than that. So today I'm going to show you how to make these very pretty little star flowers, or the posh name for it is Kusadama flower. Aren't they lovely? So I'm going to show you how to do that today. Now, what you will need is some paper. Any kind of paper will do. You can do it out of newspaper, magazines. You don't have to rush out and buy posh paper and spend loads. So you need paper. You're going to need something to embellish the top. So I've got this cute little button that I've stuck a sparkle on. If you haven't got any buttons or sparkles, you could just use a contrasting piece of paper, cut a circle out and stick it on top. A pencil, a ruler. Don't laugh at my tiny ruler. I've left my big steel rule elsewhere. I'm working from home as everybody else is, so I've got this teeny tiny little ruler with me. Pair of scissors, and of course glue. Now this is my much used and abused ancient old glue gun. Again, cheap and cheerful. You can get them for about £5, but I paid £10 for mine to get one that's got a nice small nozzle on the end so that you can get into petals and things more closely. So it's a bit different for me today, not having a paintbrush in my hand, but we will give this a go together and we will see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. Now what you're going to need is a square of paper. You're going to need 5 squares because each flower, here's a large one to show you, each flower has got 5 petals, and I'm going to show you how to make this big one today. But to scale it down, you can use any size square. This one is 15 centimetres, so that's about just under 6 inch. You can go down to about 2 centimetres square before it starts to get very, very tricky. But we're going to show you with this nice big one. Right, so the first thing you need to do is pick which side you're going to use. Mine's easy. I've got a pretty side and a plain side. You put your pretty side, the side you want, face down. And we're going to fold the bottom corner up to the top corner. Okay, like that. And put a nice crease. Now, if you're using thicker paper than I am, just use something like a ruler or a pencil maybe, just to run along the crease to make it a little bit sharper. Then we're going to take the 2 outside corners up into the centre, give it another little crease, and this corner up into the centre. So we've made a square again. Now the key with this petal is you're always trying to make a square. We start with a square and we end with a square. Now what we're going to do, can you see we've got these 2 flappy bits? We're going to bend these 2 flappy bits back out, but we want them to line up along our edge. So this loose edge here, we want to line up with this edge here. So we're going to bend it backwards on itself, like that. Then we end up with a strange triangle on this side. We're going to do the same on the other side. Bend the loose edge back over to the folded edge. We've got a nice little Art Deco shape now. Now this is the bit that sometimes confuses people. We want to open up this section here whilst keeping this square flat. And the way to do it is to find the edge, pull them apart and pop your finger inside, give it a bit of a wiggle. And then it opens it up like an ice cream cone. And if you press on this centre seam, it will flatten it out and turn it into a kite shape. Can you see? Looks like a kite now. So we're going to do the same with the other side, and to put our finger inside to open it up and give it a bit of a waggle. Then we're going to push on the centre seam to make the kite shape. There we go. Now what we want to do is bend these top corners over. I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to run it in line with the seam, the centre seam. But I want the top of it to be aligned with the side of that square. Remember, we're always trying to get back to a square shape, so we're always aligning sides together and corners together. Same here, take that top tip, bend it towards the centre seam, flatten it down so that we've got a straight line. So it all lines up across there. Just going to squish that down a little bit. Now we want to get back to that square, don't we? So we're going to take this corner and we're going to fold it along the centre seam, back in on itself. And the same this side, bend it, back in on itself. And there we have a little square. Started with a big one, ended with a little one. This is what's going to make our petal. So if you take a look at this one, can you see you've got that curved shape with the 3 stamens in the middle? Are they called stamens? I'm not Alan Titchmarsh, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to go with stamens. This is how we form the stamens. What we're going to be doing in a minute, and I won't show you just yet, is putting a piece of glue on there, bending it over, giving it a little squeeze, and that's what makes our shape with the stamens. Are they stamens? Let's just call them stamens for now. Right, I'm going to do that again to show you, because that was quite quick, wasn't it? So you put your pretty side down, and we fold the bottom corner up to the top, like that. Always try and keep your corners and your sides in line if you can. It just makes a neater petal. Obviously, if you're doing this with little ones, it's a little trickier. And we're going to go and bend the 2 outside corners into the top. So bend it up, line up the top, crease it down, and the same with this corner. Take it up, line it with the top, crease it down. There we go. So now we have our 2 little flappy legs, and we want to bend this leg back on itself to line up with the outside of the square. There we go. Get a nice little crease. And the same this side. Bend it out to line up with the outside of the square. So you're bending the free edge back to the folded edge. Okay. Now the fun bit, opening up. Pop your finger inside. Ding, ding, ding. Give it a waggle. Press down on that centre seam to get your kite shape, and fold the top of the kite over to run along the centre seam. It seems like a lot to remember, but once you've done a few, you'll fly through these, have a little production line going. Now we're going to take this outside edge and bend it up, because we're aiming to make that square again, aren't we? Let's do the same over here. We're going to open up our ice cream cone. There we go. Looks like a little birdie beak, doesn't it? And we're going to press down on that inside seam there, flatten it out into a kite, and fold the top over. There we go. And then we want to fold this point back in along the seam to make the square. So there we have our square again. So now I'm going to show you what you need to do to glue it together. You don't need masses of glue. If you put lots of glue, all you're going to do is get in a mess. If you put too little, you can always add more, but you can't take it away. With my trusty glue gun, I'm going to put a little bead like that. And that's it. I've not covered the entire flap. I've just done a little bit there. I'm going to squeeze it together. If you've got thick paper, you might need to hold this for a little while. If you haven't got a glue gun and you're using Pritt stick, that's perfectly fine. You can. Whoops, it will work. But what you might want to do when you put the glue on is just put a peg, a clothes peg, or a bulldog clip on that section there and leave it to dry. Otherwise you're going to be sat there for a long time holding it until it dries. And there you go, there's your petal. Ding, ding, ding. Cute, isn't it? We'll do the same with the purple one that we made. There we go. And we're going to fold it up and over. And what you want to do is get these 2 edges as closely aligned as possible. It's the thing with an origami flower like this. Everything wants to be in line, corner to corner, side to side, nice and sharp. There we go. Now here are some I made earlier in true Blue Peter style. As you can see, I'm going for a rainbow flower. Now we've got the 5 petals and we want to join them together. Now I'm not going to plaster the whole petal in glue. You don't need it. All you need is a strip of glue down there in a V shape to glue the petal to the next one. So I shall show you. You run a little bead. You don't have to go all the way down to the bottom either. And then you put the next petal and you line up the centres. Now if you put the tips of the petals on your little finger like that, can you see? That will line the bottoms up for you. And that will automatically align the top. Put your fingers inside, give it a little squeeze. There we go. Oh, they've got bunny ears, don't they? Cute. That's 2 down, 3 to go. Add the next one. Pop it on your finger. Like that. Now if you're using very thin paper, please be careful if you're using a glue gun. The amount of times I've burnt myself is unbelievable. But my fingers over the years have now become immune to heat, so it doesn't affect me, but do be careful. Petal number 4 going on. Let's what should we have next? Should we have the red one? No, we'll go green. We'll go green. Now I've been painting a lot of fairground signs the last couple of days, so I am loving these bright colours at the moment. The reds and the greens and the yellows. And of course it makes a rainbow, doesn't it? We're going to pop our 5th flower, sorry, 5th petal in there. Like that, give it a squeeze. Now at this point, before you seal the 2 final petals, can you see they're still open there? Before you seal those together, if you wanted to, you could put them on a wire. Can you see this one has got a wire? Now I've got floristry wire at home because I make a lot of cage work and stuff. If you haven't, you could use lollipop stick, a piece of a coat hanger, anything you want, but they look quite nice bodged into plant pots. They're quite cute. Or if you leave them without the wire, if you leave them just as a little head like that, then they look nice as present toppers. Quite cute. Or if you do teeny ones, you can put them on a headband if you've got a little girl. Or for your husband, if he wants a headband covered in flowers. You know, we are not to judge, are we? We are going to put these next 2 together. If my husband is watching this, I'm not going to make you a headband full of flowers. Or I might do. Shall I? If I do, I'll post it on Facebook. I've made him do worse. There you go. Put the final ones together there. Isn't it gorgeous? There we go. These would be cute for a wedding as well. If you're having a nice, bright, colourful rainbow wedding. And you'd got a little girl who wanted a wand or something like that. Instead of flowers, you could pop these on a piece of dowel. You could have a nice wand. Now we're going to do something in the middle. Like I said, if you haven't got buttons or anything like that, you could just put a different piece of paper in there or some glitter card or anything like that. I've got this little button that I'm going to use. So I'm going to pop some glue in the middle there. And pop the button in the centre, and there we go. A beautiful rainbow Kusadama star. Simple, isn't it? Everyone's going, no, not simple. It is. I promise it absolutely is. If you go and have a go, take some photos, put them on Facebook because we'd love to see them and see what colours you pick and what patterns you pick. They do look nice as patterns as well. This one's my daughter's favourite. If you look close, it's a little Day of the Dead one. These are little tiny sugar skulls. They're very, very cute. And we've got little stripes. So if you want to make different sizes, you just cut your square bigger or smaller and have a play about until you're happy with the size. So there we have it. We've made some pretty Kusadama flowers. And now you can make some too. So have a wonderful week, everybody. I'm going to see you again for some other videos. We're going to look at paper flowers again, but we're going to do something a bit tricky. We're going to do paper roses. And then we're also going to get the paintbrushes out because I can't resist it. And we'll be doing some things for the garden and a bit of canal art as well. So come back and see me. And I hope you have a lovely week. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.